How is it important for Drydocks to be sustainable?
We are soon going to be connected to the grid of the largest solar panel electrical field, which will be close to Dubai. We already have changed all our lighting to LED. We have replaced most of the generators from diesel to electric generators.
What would be your take on the digital transformation in the industry?
In the database of the system, provide more options, and there are millions of options.
Hello everyone, welcome to a fresh brand new episode of #Unplugged. Today I'm going to be speaking to a very interesting person. He has, I think, a lot more years of experience in the port industry. I am going to be talking to Captain Rado today, who is the Chief Executive Officer at Drydocks World in UAE.
Thank you very much for introducing me. Quite interesting introduction when you say ports. Actually, not much is known that I started to work in the shipyards as a little young boy with my grandfather owned a small shipyard and vessels, and actually that was my first love. And coincidentally, through all my life, goes 360 circle, whereby from ships later on, and then ports and shipping lines, and then in between again shipyards, and then ports, and then shipping lines, and then ending in the, I would say, most interesting shipyard, and definitely the shipyard in the most beautiful city, whereby we need to really take care of environment. So here I am.
So now you've given a little bit of your history. I want you to talk more about your current position and what you are doing at Drydocks.
You see, they always say that the present is written on the past. And I was lucky enough to grow up with great-grandparents, since my parents were always around, or was never around me. And one I mentioned, my grandfather, he was having a few ships in a small shipyard, while my grandma from Austria was very educational type, disciplined person, who make me appreciate education and also discipline, but also the nature. And at early days, I started to work on the ships, and then my career moved fast. But I always had understanding of knowledge and appreciation of knowledge. So throughout my process, and recently, just this year, I got my second PhD. And why I'm saying that education is critically important to complement your experience and skill set, which you acquire through your life. But going to the present day, I've been here at Drydocks World for the last almost 6 years. I'm an employee of DP World in Tutur, together 19 years. My job has been given to restructure the company and make sure that we have clear vision and a strategic pillar for sustainable growth over the next many years. And that encompasses also, as I mentioned before, to make sure that Dubai Drydocks mingle with Dubai as a clean industry in all respect. And talking about environment, we are actually at the time of COP28, and DP World is a major sponsor, and we, together with DP World, being part of a group DP World company, are actively participating in COP28, and very pleased that we have done so many things, and we are most certainly a leader in the shipyards when it comes to environmental, and also of course our strategic pillars to meet net zero CO2 by 2050, actually before that.
COP28 I think has been a buzzword for a lot of people. But when it comes to Rado, what does sustainability mean for you personally? And how is it important for Drydocks to be sustainable?
As me, as a person, you see, I mentioned about my grandparents and my family. I also need to mention I was born in a beautiful, pristine area, so-called at the time as Yugoslavia, northern part of Adriatic Sea, whereby there was very little industry, The ocean was pristine, still luckily is. The mountains green, 70% forest. So I did enjoy but also appreciate that cleanliness. And I do believe, and I firmly do believe, going around the world, that the environmental awareness starts by one individual and starts by you, and more senior you are, more power you have to actually take action. Action means at the moment of action. So we are sitting here and you will not see the plastic bottles, for example. You will not see much paper, very little. So there is things you will not see my computer screen on if it's not required. This is already embedded in me. You will not see me having a switch on engine even though it's 40 or 50 degrees outside in case of that. I personally do believe, and that is educated to my family, to my kids. As for the company, technology allows us to go in the right direction. There will be certainly a requirement of investment. There will be certainly requirement of the governance of that, either being IMO convention or SOLAS convention, or as we say, the UN SGD, which is in place to make sure that we comply to the international standards, and the signatures most of the countries are, and hopefully in this scope we'll see much more progress in that. We are part of the Maritime Convention, and I can say that we do implement all of those things internally in sense of electricity consumption. We are soon going to be connected to the grid of the largest solar panel electrical field, which will be close to Dubai, and we already have changed all our lighting to LED. We have replaced most of the generators from diesel to electric generators. We're doing much more. We're not doing just in the CO2 emissions, but we are also providing services for that. And a variety of services, water ballast treatment tanks. We've done over 300, all kind of that. By IMO convention, from this year, all vessels need to have that. So, not to pollute the oceans. Polluted oceans also have contributed to then not only dirty water, but also to negative CO2 emission, because they purified. We are in this business, and this business is now our core business, and many other things which we already do. I already mentioned we are doing.
Sustainability is a very important, essential element, but also there's something called digital transformation. Now, do you think technology is also part of a sustainable approach? What would be your take on digital transformation in the industry?
Well, first of all, we are one of the leaders in digital transformation. We believe that the digital transformation have variety of fields. And let's start with the most common one, which is your software, which we are using. We used to have and still have Mariner, which is not yet obsolete, but kind of a very old system. We have now Oracle base, and on that we built an integrated IFS system, which is called a production system, but is really a top-level architectural management system. What does the system do? It will connect all the database of the real-time through GPS, through the cameras, through any database, and you could see the strong 16 or 20,000 workers, 8 or 9,000 on the shift. Where are they deployed? What are they doing? What is equipment doing? How to move equipment from one point to the other? What's the productivity utilization of equipment? What's the emission of the equipment? So certainly our efficiency will rise, that will reduce emission by our man-hour deployed, or let's call it work produced in the same time. That will allow us also to manage our business in a more efficient way. That will provide us options how to dock the vessel, how to berth in a more efficient way. So less timing, less consumption of fuel, less deployment of energy, less deployment of resources for the same thing. That will have a statistic database which will not do the post-mortem, but in the database of the system provide more options, and there are millions of options how to plan your job better going forward. and compare us to our competitors, also in financial state or some other way we can compare ourselves. More importantly, it will allow us to study and do certain solutions for whatever we do in services. It will align us with our clients closer, so they will have a more transparency. This is about our software. There is other elements of this segment, and that is called robotics. Okay, I'm pleased to inform you, and we did recently independent research. We're actually number 2 globally after Hyundai heavy industry shipyard in robotics, and we are moving very fast. We are now doing milestone how we're going to move even further and catch up on that and excel that. And one might say, you know, if I compare our industry shipyard, we are not in new builds. We do special new builds. Vessels which I mentioned, like floating supply production, offload vessels. We do repair and maintenance of any type of vessels from A to Z services. We do conversion of those vessels or new build very special vessels, and we do the EPC. So we do design of special, the platforms I mentioned, any rigs or anything of that nature. We could do ice class vessels, we could do Navy vessels, we could do cruise liners, but it has to be very special. So it's a very niche market whereby we step in because of our know-how, special know-how. But when we take robotics, there is a we are not with shipyards, we are not a leader in the industry. Automobile industry is a leader, for example, in the process. And there is a complex also, we have even more complex process. Not because the technology is evolving and so is in automotive industry. It is because of so many different trades. We have 800 trades in a different way, different accessibility to the double bottoms, holes, different technologies applicable for even in paintings. Even in welding, you have over 30 different types of weldings. So that required a lot of technologies. Technology is evolving fast. We have a number of robotics already, like hydroblasting paintings, which can be done by robotic to replace people. Some remote controlled cranes, they're still on a joystick from the office. You can have people operating those cranes, like DP World ports, they have done that. And then large scale, we are entering into that because production of those, that is still in evolving process. I do believe that in the next 10, 20 years, we'll see a lot of changes in that. And we are certainly stepping up to assure that we can catch up and actually be on top of that.
What are some of the challenges that you are seeing in the industry right now?
On the bigger scale, we do certainly see the biggest challenge is, though I mentioned about robotic technology, our industry is very unique and the skill set are still required. And less people more and more people in our industry are disappearing. Europe is almost non-existing, used to be a leader just 50 years ago, almost non-existing industry. And though there is a big competition in the region, the people are scarce. So our job to retain skill set and the talent is of utmost importance. We are working very hard to do that. We are well-known industry that whoever works with us is top-notch, and of course people are poaching our people and offering them more to leave us. That's critical mass, to retain people, to train people, to give them, you know, opportunity to grow, and we're doing that. The other thing is this industry requires high capital investment. To build such facility today, a new one would be in $7–8 billion at least in any city. So, but you need to keep it up to date. That requires investment. So we must be operational at all times. So we must be very innovative. That's why we enter engineering design and procurement design, EPC so-called, to become actually, to align in DP World in a way, to be closer to the end user, which means owners of the vessel, owners of the oil and gas company, owners of the grid who need our services, and With the engineering design, you actually can have offices anywhere. So that's why we open office in Mumbai. We have an engineering office, and we will have also non-essential people moving, so offshoring office. The people who are not required to be on the field in the front line, they can be doing their job in the office. During COVID, we proved that that is easily done when you have a good IT system. So these are the challenges which we face. And of course, the technology is evolving all the time in the shipping industry. And as just mentioned, COP28 and the pressure from the environment to meet that hurdles. All these combined require a lot of hard work, smart work, alignment, adaptability, very much innovative approach, and also we need to be profitable. Yeah, though we are owned by the government of Dubai, we need to do all these things and still make sure that we are profitable. We directly and indirectly employ actually 16,000 people. That's 80,000 family, but indirectly we employ probably 40,000 people. We are, together with DP World, one of the biggest GDP contributor to Dubai economy. And I'm very proud to be part of that. And the challenges are there, but we are very smart and experienced people. And we have a great plan. I call it master business plan, which is under review as we talk, to make sure that we have the vision, to make sure that we have a road and a milestone, and to understand how we meet that and come to that goal.
If you had to advise anyone who's just stepping into the industry for the first time, very young, dynamic person who wants to venture and build a career in the industry, what would be your advice to them?
The advice for me would be that this is a great industry. It is wrongly perceived, is wrongly communicated. We have done a lot of good work here locally and globally to promote this industry. Industry is evolving. There are opportunities for young generation. I mentioned EPC, engineering design, which can be, you know, even if you are in a college, university of designer, being civil engineer or something, you can adapt to this design because there are a lot of similarities with some special courses. But nevertheless, there are also opportunity in marine sector here, in engineering sector, mechanical sector, the high voltage DC sector, and why not to be a foreman or supervisor. So there is a number of jobs, and we are now searching for over 1,000 jobs. We are probably one of the employer who is growing non-stop and needs more people. We have a number of young generation. We are a company as DP World, inclusivity is important. So we do promote jobs for more and more women, and they have still not enough, but more and more are coming to our business. We certainly are promoting emeritization, and we are very proud to have done a quite successful story there on all respect, but more needs to be done. And for that you need to really enter into university, colleges, even the primary school to promote what you are. So I'm positive that the industry might not just resurrect, but enter from the different door to project ourselves going forward in the future, that this is an industry which is interesting and award, and not only banks and IT industry, but also our industry is providing something interesting for young generation. But look, if you really want to see results of your work, this is industry you will see. You will see how the ships convert, you will see how we build projects, platforms, and those ships, platform projects will last for the next 30 years and will produce jobs, will produce transport, will produce economy on scales, and you should be proud to be part of that process.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Is there anything that you would like to add?
I will, with pleasure. I would like to say to everybody that, you know, I see the shipyards as a mother. The ships are concepted in the shipyards by design. They are built and launched in the shipyard, whatever type of ship. So it's like a mother who delivers the birth. And then to the process of life, the ships come back to be repaired, so let's call it doctor. They can be converted, let's call it If you need a surgery or replacement of heart or something, I'll call it, conversion of one propulsion to the different. And unfortunately, the lifespan of everything end up, and now the shipyards are the one which they have to cut down the vessel in an environmental friendly way, and this we can do also. And the life cycle is completed because the parts of the ship which are cut down can be reused for the ships like metal, plastic and any other materials. So yes, it's an incredible business to be. Thank you very much.
Amazing, thank you. It was lovely having you with us.